All right, just first of all, what was the nature of Jason's injury and how was he doing after the game?
His head injury, and he says he's feeling better. We'll see from there.
Why do you think you guys had trouble in some of those goal-to-go situations in this game?
I'm sorry?
Why do you think you guys had trouble in goal-to-go situations?
That's a physical downhill defense. It's closer it is sometimes as you watch in football. Some days it's difficult. They run through on the one. That's an area that we need to be better, and they were a better team today when it came to those situations. Until I really look at each and every situation.
For you guys, just in all three phases, how do you feel like you guys played all three phases?
Not good if you score 13 points, and if you look at it from, if you hold people to 16 points, you think you can win some games, okay? So that's one area that we didn't do well. I thought we battled hard the second half. I think we didn't give our, they came out the more aggressive team on both sides of the ball, played downhill, were more physical than us. And we never gave our crowd a chance to really get into the game until the second half. All that being said, I still think we battled and we found a way to tie it up with under a minute to go. But obviously credit them for driving down the field. Special teams wise, we make our field goals. I don't know if there was a ton there in special teams. Defensively, I thought, especially the first quarter, Texas Tech dominated us in the run game. But then I think if you look at the second half, I don't know I'd like to see the first half, second half comparison. Tomorrow I'll probably take a look at that. But I thought our defense really responded well when challenged and found ways to get stops. And offensively, I don't know if we ever fully got sync today.
You guys talked a lot about Cole during camp.
Yeah.
What stood out to you about what he did today?
Just about what I thought he'd do. Compete his tail off, and he wouldn't flinch, and he'll give you everything he has. I don't think he ever had that deer in the headlight look about him, where he was the moment was too big. That locker room really likes Cole Ballard, and they have for a long time. And it's his makeup, it's in his DNA, and he's going to be a fine player here.
You talk about not having the deer in the headlights. Like, how impressive is that for a guy playing his first college snap?
You don't know. We've been battling because we're hoping to redshirt him, and now it's 3 games, and last week was 1 snap, and we're sitting there trying to decide when, are we going to put Ben Easters in or something for 1 play, but Cole just stays ready, but he's been that way. His football upbringing has prepared him to stay ready, and that has been very, very evident.
On the last play where Devin threw the ball, can you walk us through what the call was on the sideline and the thought process?
Yeah, it was going to be like we're trying to run. We're gonna hopefully get him all to bait in. He's going to try to throw it. It's again much like many situations with us even a week ago. We wanted to be aggressive and go win the game. That was the whole mindset. We're going to find a way. Obviously, when they don't work, we can always talk about 10 other options we could have had. Other things, you could have run the ball and run the clock down. We could have them all. But our thing was we were going to go get a touchdown, and didn't work. From my angle, it's hard to say what was there or not, so I'm not going to give any other thought on that right now. My attention went to the field goal and then onward to the kickoff and us trying to get a stop.
If you have a question, raise your hand.
I guess then on the last drive, what kind of went wrong that allowed Texas Tech to move the ball?
Well, again, they make a real good catch on the boundary. I don't know. I didn't see enough of a replay if he pushed for separation. We're close on one. The guy just didn't get quite turned around enough, I think, on one of the intermediate throws. It's that old, it wasn't like, hey, let's play really soft and let's let him, think it down there. It wasn't it, but obviously it wasn't enough.
You talked about the defense in the first half, or first quarter at least, being dominated. Just the response there. How, I guess, impressed were you that they responded and put out that type of performance?
You know, it obviously, probably for all of us, it wasn't, you know, it was probably frustrating and disappointing and all the other things, but then all of a sudden you look up and it's only a 10-point deficit, so you're hanging in there, and there's some things happening that gives you a chance. So, found a way. I think it was the interception, the missed field goal possibly, or stop. So even those things, we just kept finding ways to hang in there and find some solutions and get accustomed to what they were going to try to do in some things. And I thought we played, you know, again, I said second half stat. Maybe we should look at the last 3 quarters versus the first quarter. But as I told the team, we win and lose together, and there's a lot of things there that it wasn't one last drive. It was red zone touchdown opportunities. It was missed stops early in the game, and it was missed stops late in the game, and everything else in between.
Losses obviously happen, but you guys seem to have elevated yourselves to a point where we expect not to deal with them. What's the move in there?
Yeah, disappointment, but I think, Matt, at the same time, maybe it's a good reminder that, you know, we're not completely there, okay? And you got to be there all the time, and from the opening kick. And I don't think we had a bad week of preparation, or guys were like, yeah, you know, whatever. I can't. You know, we'll review that again tomorrow on what we thought, but there's just some things execution-wise and some other things, and you know, we said it early in the week. Now they're getting a little healthier over there. They're getting some people back, and they're getting a little more rhythm. And you know, that's not a. I mean, I said, you know, that was a team that he spoke highly of, and they lost some close ones early. So don't be fooled by the record either.
And with Cole, what's available? How much do you have to pare down the playbook?
You know, I've never heard Andy or Jim say, hey, we got to pare this down. But obviously, by repetitions, there's some certain things that we're not going to probably run is based on, you know, what he's really got a chance to do. But like I said, he's impressed everyone with retention of information. Time and studying when he's in meetings with Jim or with Andy on game plan, our walkthroughs, all of that. You know, so that part wasn't. I don't know if it was completely like, hey, we can't do this.
Is it pretty apparent that he's the son of a NFL GM and has the?
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. You know, his father, Chris, and I he told us that really about, you know, talked about a couple different times that you know, Andy Reid, you know, told Chris get him around the game, get him around the locker room, get him around the opportunities. You know, as being in this profession, we miss a lot of our own kids' activities, and there's pluses and minuses that our children get, and there are some pluses of experiences, and sometimes in these cases, Cole's had the opportunity to be around it. That's why I said, that's why the moment wasn't too big. Okay, and he's had the opportunity to be around a lot of quality people, and yet he you know, keeps his feet on the ground. He doesn't, you know, he's a yes sir, no sir guy, and as his father told me, you won't have to worry about him, and he'll be ready to go for you. And I've known his father for over 30 years, and there was a reason that when things kind of changed for us a year ago, I wanted to make sure we got Cole in our program.
Yes, what were your message? We forget about this one and start looking forward
Well,
to Kansas
yeah,
City,
well, we had made we're gonna practice tomorrow. We've made a change, and it wasn't by outcome for some multiple reasons. Win or lose, it was gonna be good because we were gonna turn the page pretty quickly as we get ready for defending conference champs. So we're gonna make sure that we do that, and we're gonna see how this team responds.
From year one to now, how much progress and growth have you seen from your team in this program and the will to compete despite the score or circumstance of the game?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think start of the, the way the first half went, I think especially first year, it would have probably doubled or tripled by the end of the game. The deficit. I don't think we had that quite in us of when things weren't going well. I think we have continued to show that we'll play, 60 minutes and keep battling, and here we were thinking we were gonna get that thing in overtime and see where it goes. But that part is encouraging because they know anything can happen if we just keep pounding away on things, and so we've come a long way. But as I also told him, sometimes when success happens, we tend to really, and I think it's understandable, but this place has been starving for so long. I don't know if we're quite getting all the steps in line yet. We want to go all the way over here and start talking about things that aren't even possible yet, and a lot of things, and we've got to make sure that we're A, B, C, D all the way through. We want to go A to D right away sometimes here. We've got to make sure we get there, and that's my responsibility, and today I failed.
All right, thanks everyone.